to my first episode of Brunch with Diva. Yay! Hey, I'm so glad that you guys are going to join. We're going to let some people come in, but this is my first episode of Brunch with Diva. And what it basically I wanted to do was I wanted to explore this huge community that we have, the reseller community, and just dig in and find different Poshmarkers, different Mercari, different independent resellers, maybe that we, haven't even taken notice of. And those who have a great vibe, because I love a good vibe. Which brings me to my guest today, who is going to be Wild Heart Collective. I am so happy that she is going to my first show. So I'm just waiting for her to join, and here she is.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, I'm so happy that you're here.
Hold on. I'm so sorry. 1 second.
Oh my God, we're all
I'm
like,
in a
when you go
meeting.
live.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry about that. You see that I was wearing pajamas on the bottom of my outfit.
Girl, I have on pajamas.
Good. This is a
It's
pajama
brunch,
party.
girl. It's brunch. We're doing brunch. So you can be in your PJs and all that.
I love it.
I'm in my bed.
Oh, good. My secret's out.
Well, that's okay, because you know what? It's during the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What are clothes? We don't know. Hey, Britt. Hey, Morgan.
My summer wardrobe was so sad. It got barely any use.
Girl, I didn't have a summer wardrobe. I mean, leggings, t-shirt.
Yep.
That's it. I haven't really and truly, I haven't really bought myself anything, because why? I wasn't really going anywhere. So I'm so happy that you're here. Hey, Regina. My first question for you, though, is because I'm always so curious about how people come up with their IG handles.
Okay. Oh, I love this question.
Wild Heart Collective. How do we come up with that?
Okay, so one of my favorite minds of this time right now is Dr. Breonna Brown. Okay. She is a social worker and a researcher who does research on shame and vulnerability and leadership. And she has this philosophy that she says, strong back, soft front, wild heart.
Oh,
and
great.
Yes, so I think that that's how I like to live my life. Like, the strong back, I am very in tune to my values and what I stand for. And my soft front, anyone who knows me or interacts with me online knows that I am just like a love puddle. And
I love that, a love puddle.
And my wild heart is going for my dreams, following what's out there, saying yes to adventure. Oh, there's a lot of Breonna Brown fans I see in the comments. A lot of people love Breonna.
And Snazzy Soul says that you just helped her come up with her name.
I did, yeah. Her and I were in the DMs together, and we worked on. She really wanted a new name that really fit her vision. So. And Snazzy Soul's so cute. I love it.
I know, I do too. She's so snazzy,
She is.
Well, I've been following you for a while. We've been interacting back and forth, and I totally dig your vibe.
Thank you.
So that's why I wanted you to come on and have brunch with Diva.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, and especially after I was going through your page, mm-hmm. and I noticed this one thing, and I thought, oh, I feel personally attacked because Because why? Turn off your notifications.
Mm.
Be present with the do not disturb.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, so far I have 0 and 0. So my question was, how does that work if you work off your phone? Because I do pretty much everything off my phone.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair. That's fair. But you're the boss of your life. You make your own hours. Instagram is not your boss. Poshmark is not your boss. Your text messages are not your boss. You are your boss. You get to decide. You get to be in control. And when I talk about productivity and workflow a lot.
Right.
How many times are maybe you're listing, right? And you see a notification pop on your phone, someone left you a comment, sent you a DM. You open, you're just gonna check that one thing, right? And then you'll get back to the listing.
Mm-hmm.
How many times is it a half an hour later and you're like, what am I doing?
I'm going to just tell you that happened to me one day last week. And I was like so wrapped up into the whole thing. And I was like, the next day I said, I'm not going to do it. I am not engaging. I'm going to engage a little bit. I'm going to give it this much time, like 30 minutes. The rest of the time I was, into my listing because I took pictures the day before.
Mm-hmm.
I did my comps the day before. So I had to list. And that day, surprisingly, hey, Trish, I listed 10 items. Could not believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't done that since, but I do list. I do list at least 4 or 5 a day.
That's good. Yeah. I think like starting any habit is starting small. If your goal is to list 10 things a day, if that's like you did the math and that's your money goal, and you see that it's really difficult to meet that goal, cut it in half or cut it even less than half. Say I'm going to list 3 items every day. And then when that's so easy,
Mm-hmm.
add more.
Well, that is definitely easy for me to do, list 3 items. But, I stepped it up to list 5. So then I said, well, I'll list 5 every day. Oh, sorry. So I did 5 every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then that day, I don't know, I was just so focused on it. I just went the whole route and it ended
That
up
happens
listing
too.
many.
That happens too.
So I was just really, I was really psyched about that. But, I was like, well, yeah, I'm kind of 0 for 2. And I want to be consistent with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I get
I
that.
think consistency is key.
It is. It is. And I think what happens is, and I've done this myself. Nicole State had a really good YouTube video where you go from how much money you want to make every month from reselling, and then she had this cool algorithm of like how much you need to list and what. I can't explain it. I'm not as good as with math as she is, but I plugged it in and it came out that to make the amount of money that I wanted to list. I had to list, I think it was like 11 items every day.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to list 11 items every day. I did it for maybe 2-3 days. And then as soon as I didn't hit 11, I was beating myself up and like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like you're messing this up and whatever. But then like I said, I'm the boss of me. That number is not the boss of me.
Right. And you're right. We're the boss of our own journey. This is your journey is not like my journey. My journey is not like yours or anyone else's. So we all have to hold ourselves accountable for our own journey and how we, travel that road.
Exactly. So now, well, also, and then Vendu was a game changer too, because you can meet that 11 without doing anything.
Well, I am giving them, I did try their little free thing. And so I don't know. The jury's still out on that for me.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. And the copy feature on Poshmark is great too if you're not ready to invest in Vendu.
I love the copy feature.
The copy feature is amazing. But
yeah. I love the copy feature. I actually did some of that yesterday and actually made a sale earlier today from Relisting. So Relisting works. I tell anybody, You know,
Yeah.
I didn't think it did at first, but I just kept doing it and
It
kept
does.
doing
It
it.
does.
And I think that it actually makes a lot of difference in, you know, your sales, really.
hmm
So
I
I
have a
want
story. I had this cute, like Kate Spade pom pom hat. It was one of the first things I ever put up in my closet. And I'm like, what the heck? How is this still here? And I sent offers, and then it was like, after all these closet clear outs, like so low. I'm like, I'm not selling it for that little. Relisted, Rhonda. It sold in like 20 minutes.
get out.
I was
Isn't
like,
that crazy how that happened?
what?
I love when that happens though, because you know, this the wildest thing happened to me. Just I actually did a porch pickup.
hmm
I've done a couple,
hmm
and I had these boots in there, and I was like, you know how you get something, you're like, I don't know. I
hmm
just sat them in the corner, and I decided one day, probably like weeks later, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and list these, clean them
hmm
up, list them, and all that. Did that, list them on a Friday. They sold on a Sunday.
You never
Go figure.
know. You really
Go
never
figure.
know with what people like. I sell. I know some people niche their closets. I don't. I'm like, I don't care because a lot of my friends and my family were like, "Oh, I'm getting rid of this. You want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take
Right,
it."
right.
I
You know,
sell every
I tell
style.
anybody, I tell anybody, if you're cleaning out your closet, contact me.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's why I always say tell people what you do because
Yes, yes. I mean, you know, people know what I do, and if they don't, then it's probably because, you know, we haven't talked in a while.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Trish, I know, listing every day. Trish has been listing every day for over a year.
Oh yeah, it's great. I have a method for relisting too, which is I set it phone on do not disturb. Rule number one. Set a timer for 25 minutes. It doesn't matter
Okay.
how many you get done in 25 minutes. You are just dedicating 25 minutes every day to just relisting and it goes by like this.
Oh, that's awesome. 25 minutes. I'm gonna try that.
hmm
Yeah, do you list every day? Do you list?
No, I don't. Well, okay, so now I'm wearing like a lot of hats. So I'm reselling. So Vendu has been my best friend.
Okay.
My goal had been 11 items a day, like I said. Love the timer idea. Yeah, try it. Let me know.
Yes,
Let me
try
know
it,
how you
Britt.
like
Britt,
it.
let me know. Let's try it.
Um, And so I'm still like trying to rework my life with all these like hats that I'm wearing.
Yes.
But that's why I think relisting is like that's the stuff right there. That's
Yes.
the stuff because you're still working and it's like this much of the effort, but you're still getting the job done, and that's really what we're here for at
Right.
the end of the day.
Hey, Miss Elizabeth, that's my daughter. Hey, girl.
Hi, daughter. I this right before I got on the call, I listed 4 items today, so
Oh,
I'm
well,
good.
I hate to say that right before I got off on the call, I listed one.
One counts. You had one more than you had yesterday.
Oh, yes, and Trish uses the Time Lock app. Have you heard of that?
Time clock. No, I haven't.
Yes, the Time Clock app. She sets, you know, she uses that app. She sets her schedule according to that app, which gives her X amount of, you know, hours that she's going to work, punch out, do her lunch, or, you know, prepare her dinner, whatever the
hmm
case may be. But that's her day. You know, that's how she keeps her schedule going.
I'm
But
gonna
Trish,
check it out. Yeah.
yeah, Trish is a beast, though. You know, she's up at 5:30 on the treadmill and all that good stuff. I'm
That's
like,
great.
oh, girl, I'm still asleep at 5:30.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
But you know, I really want to talk to you about the highest mindset method that you have to offer right now.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for giving me the space to talk about it because I am so excited
I'm excited to
to,
hear about it.
yeah, yeah, this. Okay, so before I was a reseller, I had graduated from social work school, so on a track to be a psychotherapist. So that's my background. Before that, I was a teacher, and then I found reselling. And I was like I am so like I love these three communities and these three hats that I wear so much, how do I marry them together and be of the most service, right? Because for me, that is my purpose,
I
is
think
to
that's
be
going to help me. So this is going to help me too.
to be of service. So what I did was a lot of soul searching and a lot of researching of like, how can I be of most service to this community, bringing what my skills. So what I did was I got on the phone with as many resellers or entrepreneurs as possible and asked them what their experience with stress and anxiety is like for them, and how would life be different if they really had a handle on those issues. And Rhonda, the response I got was so, like, it was so big. It was so big, I mean, especially in the time we're in now, like the level of stress, like we're not here, we're not put on this earth to struggle and stress. Yes, it's part of it, but it's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. And I have the knowledge of how to live, because at the end of the day, anxiety and stress are signals from our brain that they don't feel, that it doesn't feel safe, right? So when we were in like the Paleolithic era and we were hunter-gatherers, it made really sense for us to be on high alert all the time, right? Because you don't want to be eaten by a lion and tiger and bear. Makes sense. Our brains haven't evolved very much since then, even though the situation has.
Yes.
Very much. Yeah. I mean, of course, some people live in really dangerous situations. And I mean, I think about like the reason we have the Black Lives Matter movement and why, mothers have that stress, Black mothers, when their sons leave the house. And I get that. I get that. But so stressors are real. And stressors do keep us safe. However, when we're feeling that intense anxiety, like something is chasing us, but what we really want to do is go list a few items, but we're feeling stuck, or we really want to go have a conversation to tell somebody what we need from them, but we're getting stuck and it feels really big and scary. That's not how it has to be. And what we can do is through repetition and the most self-love and the most respect for ourselves, we can rewire our brains so that kind of stress and anxiety is not our automatic response.
I think that as women, though, we tend to, I mean, this might be old school to some, but I think it still applies. I think that we as women always have put everything else before we put ourselves. I mean, we worry about, our kids, we worry about our grandkids, we worry about the house, we worry about if people are being fed, if they're well, if they have clothes, if they have, whatever the case may be, we worry about all of these enormous things all of the time, but yet we're trying to do all this running on empty.
Thank you for saying that. Okay. I told you I got as many entrepreneurs, resellers on the phone as I could. Right. And I heard that over and over and over again. I come last. And here's the thing about running on empty. You can do it. You can do it for a long time. But eventually it's going to catch up to you. You're going to burn out and be like, I can't do any of this anymore, which is not what you want.
Right.
Chronic stress, shoving it in, putting yourself second, eventually turns into chronic illness. Like so many illnesses are caused by stress, hypertension, anxiety that gets so big that you're having panic attacks and you have a diagnosed mental illness. Yes. Right? Yes. Hypertension, heart attacks. I don't know what else I said, but so many gastro issues.
And I can tell you that, before I had weight loss surgery, I weighed 464 pounds. And like I always tell people, I was alive, but I wasn't living,
Yeah.
and then I held so much in during that time because I felt like if I had even mentioned how I felt, that my whole house would just fall apart because I felt like nobody would know what to do. So, I know how that feels to just have stuff, you just gotta choke it down and choke it down.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, it can just wear you out.
So
It
it's really like you said, like if this stuff came out, what do we do? What do I do? How do I deal with this? And that's scary. It is scary. It is really scary to confront
is
your stuff.
scary.
And that's what we do in my program is I'm gonna, with the most love, I'm gonna hold your hand, but we are going to do some hard work.
Right.
Because yeah, it's hard, but
It is hard.
no emotion is dangerous. What is dangerous is keeping this inside.
Yes. Because I tell you that I'm thankful that I went through it. I
Yeah.
am thankful. I mean, I'm telling you, this was the road that led me to be who I am right now, which in a way is who I've always been, but 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, just being able to say, okay, yes, I weighed 464 pounds. I kept everything in because I didn't feel that I could say anything. I did all these different things. I mean, I was on 6 medications. All that on top of holding everything in, trying to keep a, happy face. I'm
Yeah.
fine, great, I'm doing well. All
Yeah.
this, but it's not good.
Right.
It's
No.
not good. You are
Right. And
serving,
then that's how you become 464 pounds because I could imagine, I don't want to make any assumptions about you, but I would imagine as you were stuffing that down, and we all need something, right? Our brains are always seeking safety. They are going to find something, whether it's eating, whether it's alcohol, whether it's nicotine, whether it is Instagram, whether it is shopping, whether it is gambling.
right. I mean,
When
there's so much that can happen and that people can go through. For me, and the thing about it is that, I always said that I love food. Food just didn't love me.
Mm,
But, I still think that's true. I still think I love food, but I'm just more in tune with what to eat and what not to eat.
mhm.
I don't particularly just run to food, if there's an issue or there's a problem, I just say what it is and then, oh well,
Well, that's
you know,
facing it, right? We don't have
yeah,
to eat it away, drink it away, shop it away when we feel it. And it's uncomfortable, but like I said, no emotion,
right.
no is ever going to kill you. What is going to kill you is those behaviors
Yeah.
eventually.
Holding it in, sitting on it. And that's why I offer, people look, because that's my thing, psychology. I'm here, I don't like to say I'm a coach. I'm a little bit more bougie and say I'm a consultant.
Oh, I love it.
But, that's why I always offer, hey, hit me in my DM. I'm here. If you don't need anything but for me to listen, I'm here to listen.
That's beautiful.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes people don't need you to fix it. Sometimes they just need to get it out.
We can't fix it.
Message.
We can't
That
fix
is so
it.
true. That is so true. And that's what I say about, on my end. I'm not, I'm not here to fix your problem, but I'm here to lead you and guide you in the right direction.
Right. So with my program, first of all, someone I work for and worked with says this thing, and it is the truest thing, right? I'm a teacher, right? That's
Mhm.
who I am I've been an actual teacher in a classroom, but that's my identity, right? I'm in a classroom. My heart is a classroom. I can show you and I can teach you things. Like I can teach you about the neurology of the neurobiology of what's
Right.
going on with you.
Uh-huh.
I can teach you ways to implement or things to implement so you can physically relax. What I can't do is take your pain away.
No, no. There's no way that there's no way that you or I could ever do that. I
No.
I can empathize with you. I can listen to you. I can, maybe offer you ways to start the healing process.
But I think at the end of the day, that's all people want is someone to sit with them and be a witness.
Yes, almost definitely, because we all need that. I don't
Yeah.
care if we're not going through any particular thing. It could be one thing one day, and you just need someone to say that to.
Yeah.
You just need someone to listen to you,
Yeah.
you know. And sometimes, I mean, I think that during the COVID, um, this has brought on
Someone
a,
said validation. Exactly.
yes,
Exactly. I
yes.
didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, no, no.
that is
No.
what we are here for. Humans, it's like we have our survival needs, food, water, safety,
Mhm,
shelter. We
mhm.
also have our core desires, which is to be seen, heard, and validated.
Yes. And then
That,
I think though, but do you think, let me ask you this, because I think sometimes that's been an ongoing topic, is that is there a such thing as, I mean, there is a such thing. I do know that there are people out there who strictly run on validation.
mm.
You know, want need it, gotta have it, have it, have it. You know,
Right.
and I think I don't know if there's such a thing as too much validation,
Well, I
or
mean,
is there too much of wanting the validation?
yeah. Yeah, so we have two kinds of motivation. We have intrinsic motivation, right?
Yeah.
That comes from inside, and
Uh-huh.
extrinsic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So especially like entrepreneurs like us who live a lot of their life online, we need to remember at the end of the day that that's not us, right? Everyone
Mm-hmm.
online is playing essentially a character, very much like who I am online is me, but also you don't get all of me. Therefore, my validation of who I am as a person does not come from this. So that's why I preach, if no one ever signs up for my program, if no one ever looks at my Instagram ever again, what I my wish for the world is for every single person to fall madly, deeply, fully in love with themselves and embody a person who is fully worthy, fully capable, fully deserving just by being. Just by
Yes,
being.
girl. Yes, yes, yes. I wholeheartedly agree. I just think that I mean, now I'm an open book, you know. I am. You could just ask, I'll tell, you know. If I share, I share. That's just how I am. But here on Instagram, I mean, if I share it, you miss it, you might miss out. If you
Yep.
ask, I'll tell, whatever. I just feel like, I can be only as open on here as I'm allowed to be.
Yeah.
If we're talking one on one and we're just, kicking it or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit different. But on here, people are only as open as they only give you what they want you to have.
Yep. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I don't think that people should look for all their validation on IG.
Well, and if they are, they're going to be very, very, very disappointed a lot of the time.
Well,
Right.
I just
So, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So I wanted to just say, so who might you asked me to talk about highest mindset method and who it's for is really
Hmm.
important. So I work with people, entrepreneurs, resellers who are struggling with chronic stress and anxiety. And they really need kind of a roadmap home to their highest and truest self, right? To
Hmm.
approach the world from a really deep self-love and not fear, right? And
Hmm.
there, I have a 5-step methodology. of how we move, and it's a 90-day, 12-week course. And within those 12 weeks, and something else I heard in the calls a lot was, I don't know how to relax. I can't do it. My brain is always, always, always going.
Well, my brain is always, always going, but I know how to relax, girl.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's great. But the people that I work with have a really, really hard time slowing down, because like when you were 464 pounds, right? If you slowed down, if you told the truth, you were so afraid of what would spill out.
Yes.
You're not there anymore.
No.
Bless you. I'm so happy for you. But there are some people that are really, really, really stuck there. So
Yeah.
I work with anxious entrepreneurs who don't want to only identify with being a business person, because nobody is only one thing. You're not just running a business. You have a family. You have an identity outside of your business.
Right.
And what I help people do while I guide them through the steps is really step into the highest, truest, most beautiful version of themselves that they decide. I don't tell them what that is and what that looks like. They decide, right? And I provide a psychoeducation. So that means I teach people about what goes on in their brain and why things are the way they are, what goes on in your body. Why does our stomach hurt? Why are we sweating? Why is our heart racing when we're feeling really stressed and anxious? So I teach you about that. We do a whole audit of your life, right? And see what parts are really, really working for you, and what do we have to rework. We'll come up with routines, right? So taking care of yourself is going to come automatic. And if anyone is interested in learning more, just send me a DM. I'll send you all the information. But what I'm really excited about is being a guide as people find their way homes to their own hearts.
Right. I think that is amazing. That's really why, I wanted to, give you this platform to kind of talk about that, because I think that, as resellers, moms, grandmas, business owners, I think, and particularly women, this is something that is needed. I think it's something that's needed. Now, will you be offering this outside of reselling?
Yeah, I mean, you all are my community right now. So any professional, anybody, but right now I'm focusing on you all because that's who I talk to. And you're my people. But yeah, who I guess would be my target audience is people whose identity is either really, really wrapped up in their role, their professional role, where it is so hard to turn it off. Because if they do turn it off, there's stuff they're going to have to face that's really uncomfortable. And also people whose stress and anxiety is so big and so intense that they can't even get there yet, right? They have all these big, beautiful ideas and all these intentions, but they're on. So it's kind of like two ends of the same pendulum, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, my morning, I don't know, it's so crazy sometimes, but I always make it a point before I even leave this bed to, first, thank the man upstairs for waking me up. But after that, it's my time to just meditate.
That's beautiful.
Just meditate. I just, take in all my surroundings. I just do my breathing. I do all of these things. I focus on that mainly. But, because I just want to enjoy that stillness. I just want to enjoy the quiet before, my feet hit the, floor. And once that happens, there you go.
That practice alone will change your life. Not only are you stepping into your day with calm and clarity, but you are also, when we have a breathing practice like that, a meditative practice, we're creating neural pathways in our brain. So say, Rhonda, something stressful happens during the day, you get a return or whatever happens in your life that is like, you know? Yeah. If you take a few deep breaths, as you do every morning, your brain recalls that relaxation, and all of a sudden, just breathing,
right,
brings it back down. We can all breathe. We can all do that, right?
And you know what? I used to, before while I was preparing for weight loss surgery, I started meditating. And I used to, during the course of the day, I would set a timer because I use the Calm app.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I love the Calm app.
Yeah.
And so I would set it for a certain time. Haven't done it lately, but maybe I'll pick it back up. But a certain time of the day for me to just do like a little 5-minute or 10-minute meditation. And I tell you that really helped me during the course of my day.
Absolutely.
Just taking that break, just quiet. I shut down the TV, shut down everything, and that 10 minutes, and it might seem like the longest 10 minutes, but but once you get into it, you don't even think about that anymore. But it's just that break in the day, that gives you, kind of brings back your mindset. And I think sometimes that's what everything is all about, is mindset. I mean, we have to start training our minds to think more on a positive level. We have to train
perception is reality. So however you see it, it's true. So if you think you're not good enough and you're not worthy and you can't, or you shouldn't, or you'll fail, or you won't be loved, perception is reality.
This is true. So how you see yourself, because I tell you, just yesterday, I was speaking with someone, and it kind of inspired me to make that post about get out your bubble, because I think sometimes we need to just get out of our own freaking way. We are our own enemy sometimes. It's really, while we're out here thinking we're competing with everybody else, the whole truth is that it's always you versus you.
I call that, or it's called, I didn't make it up, but it's called radical responsibility. Radical responsibility. At the end of the day, you are responsible for you and your feelings, right? We can blame the apps. We can blame whatever. We can blame the partner, the husband, the wife, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the kids.
Yes. But at the end of the day, let me tell you that when you get that mirror, when you look in that mirror, you're looking at you. Everything about you.
And you want to know that you're showing up for yourself every day.
Yes. I think that's so true, that you have to show up. I mean, true enough, you're running a business, you're doing all this, you have to show up for your business, you have to show up for your family, you have to show up but ladies and gents, we have to show up for ourselves first in order to be able to continue to show up for everybody and everything else.
Exactly. And when we do take care of ourselves, right? When we do, prioritizing yourself is not selfish. Not prioritizing yourself.
That's true. My daughter said,
you want to be the best mother, the best partner, the best reseller, whatever you want to be, your best, right? The best, your best.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to be taking care of yourself. You are it. You are the commodity. You are the hot product.
Right.
You are it.
Well, my daughter just said, in the words of Cat Williams, you are your star player. So you have to be your star player. And Christy, what did you say? Said it best, man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways. Hallelujah. That is so true. I mean, sometimes you just have to we have to face our own fears. We have to face our own selves, in order to be our own star player.
And we deserve it. We deserve it.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, we deserve so much. I mean, we think about our business all the time and the money that we're making, and the sourcing that we've done, the good finds that we find, our families, our friends, and all these things. But you know what? In the end, you got to take care of you. You got to be there for yourself. You got to show up. You got to know that you are worthy of all things. You got to know that you rock. I try to tell you every day. I try to tell people every day, I see you. I
Yes.
see you.
Yes.
And that is such an important thing to let people know. I see you. I see you however you come and however you present yourself. I see you.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Because, and that goes back to our core desire
Mhm.
of all humans really want is to be seen, heard, and validated. So I hear you. I see you. I understand you. I'm with you.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it all.
And it goes
So,
back to what we were saying before is we're not here to solve problems, but at the end of the day, that's not what people want. People don't want, because first of all, you can't like lift things out of people's lives. That's not how it works. And second of all, what we really want, like I said, is to be seen, heard, and validated. So that's
mhm.
why I see you, I hear you, I understand you.
Well, I'm just really excited about your program.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
I swear, I just wish you all of the greatest success. And
Thank you.
I know that my next question is kind of, I mean, probably a little bit of what we talked about, but digging more into how people have been handling the pandemic, because I have talked to people who are, haven't been so well.
Yeah,
They've been alone,
right. Yeah, it's really
and,
hard.
they've reached out for things that they probably wouldn't,
Yeah,
be it, they might be having that extra bottle instead of a
yeah,
glass,
yeah. Oh,
you know.
it isn't. Yeah,
You know,
no,
they might have been, going that other route. So
yeah.
how do you think that, what have you seen, or what are your thoughts on the pandemic and mental health?
Right. Okay. So, okay, our brains love certainty, right?
Mhm.
Our brains thrive off habituation. There are so many things we do on a daily basis that we don't even register that we're doing them. We walk in the bathroom, we turn on the lights. You don't need to think to yourself, okay, Rhonda, like now turn on the lights. Okay, you
Right.
finished your business, flush the toilet. That's what our brain loves. They just like the more we do it. So this came out of nowhere. Our brain doesn't know what to do with this. This is unprecedented. There's no answers. We don't have an end. The rules are changing every day. We
Oh,
have we have
constant.
plenty of toilet paper. We have no toilet paper. You can
We're
eat.
short on the Lysol wipes. I mean,
Right, right. You can eat inside. You can't eat inside. People who struggle with germs before, they're having a hard time right now, right? The mamas, I think of the mamas. My heart goes out to all the mamas who love their kids. I know you love your babies so much, but you need a break.
yes,
I
yes,
hear you. I hear you.
yes.
And then this whole thing with school, like
Oh,
virtual home and whatever, like it is hard. So what
it
I
is.
want everyone to know, if you are having a hard time, well, that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. So any shame you're having around struggling more than you usually do, please let it go. Please love yourself and understand your brain enough to let that go.
Hmm. Yes, I so agree. And I push up. I whoop, 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 whoop to all of the parents who are doing homeschooling, because I'm just going to be honest, y'all. Woo, I'm glad it wasn't me. But you know what? I'm glad that it's available at this day and time, because back in the day, I don't know what we would have done. But I'm glad now that we have all of the devices, we're
Yeah.
able to do everything
Yeah.
online, and we're able to assist. The kids actually have it way more easier than I ever did.
Right.
But but I give them 25 stars for digging in, helping their kids, doing what they have to do to ensure that their children and all children are getting an education, because that is something that I feel is in danger as we speak.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we just don't know which way things are going to go, because as you say, things change from day to day.
Right.
So at this point, I'm clapping, I'm pushing up, all
Me too. Me
for,
too. My
for them
heart is
all.
so big for
Right.
all of you because it's an impossible situation. It's
It is.
like there's no right and there's no wrong. So moms, dads in this live right now, whatever you decide, as long as it's the most true and feels the most right, go with that one, because there is no black and white, right and wrong here.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Just
I tell you, as a country, as a nation, we are all running on a lot of what ifs.
mhm.
What am I gonna do? What's my next step? I mean, it's like almost like we kind of got to pay attention to see what our next step, what our next move will be. But I tell you what, while in the process of all of this, you got to take a little time and relax for yourself, because it's going to get crazy. It might get crazier before it gets better,
It might. It might. It might.
you know.
So
But
like I said, if you're having a hard time, here's what I'm going to tell you. One, like I said, let go of that shame. It is normal to be having a hard time right now in a global pandemic. That's number
exactly.
one. Number two, write down everything that you're worried about. Write down all of your fears, all of your thoughts. Write it all down. Get it out of your body.
Hmm.
And then go down the list of things you wrote, and anything you can make a plan for, do that, because like I said, our brains love certainty. So having a plan for the things that and realizing what is in your control and what's not will steady your mind and make you feel at least a bit better and a bit more in control.
And I love that you say our brains love certainty, because you know what? I never really kind of looked at it that way. But that is such a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a true statement. So what do you do for self-care?
Okay, what do I do? So I have my morning routine, and in my morning routine, I wrote this kind of manifestation manifesto, I call it, and every belief, the strongest, most rooted in self-love belief about myself,
Mhm.
I wrote it down, and every morning I read it to myself. And I read it in the third person. Allie is courageous and brave. She's not afraid to take steps that are scary to take her where she wants to go. And I have like 10 of those.
Oh, that's
And
great.
right. So every day I start my day stepping into that identity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I wrote down like my future as if it already happened. So the house I live in, the family I have,
Oh my
what I'm
God.
known
I
for,
love it.
what happened in my career and my business. I wrote it as if it already as if it already is true. And then I go into my day and I step into that identity. Then I meditate for, depends on the day, but at least 5 minutes, sometimes more. But I check in with myself and ask myself, what do I need? What do I want right now? I love yoga, and I love yoga with Adriene on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
The best free yoga in the world, yoga with Adriene. If you don't know about yoga with Adriene, and Rhonda likes Calm, the app. I'm an Insight Timer girl myself. I like I like an app called Insight Timer. It has a gigantic free library of meditations. And what I also do to take care of myself is I let myself have fun. Like Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, I am a coach. Yes, I am running a small business, but I'm also an aunt, and my niece and nephew give me the most joy in this world. Right? I have a partner, and when we're together, like I want to be present for my time with him. Right?
Right.
I'm a daughter, and I'm all of these things, and my self-care is being present with all of those things and
Right.
not boxing myself in, and loving myself, loving myself. And that is the biggest self-care beauty secret
Well,
in
you
the
know what? All of
world.
that, I think that I can definitely tell just from your page that you love yourself. I think that that just oozes out, or at least to me, on your page.
Well, I'm
I
glad.
mean, I mean, I love that, and I think that I'm just so happy that we connected,
Me too,
and
me too.
because I love everything about your page. I love your
Thank you.
positivity that comes through. I love it. If you guys haven't checked out her page, Allie's page is Wild Heart Collective underscore after
Hmm.
collective, and you guys, check her
Come hang
page
out
out.
with me. If you
Yes,
want to come jump in
yes.
my love puddle.
Well, you said something a moment ago, and I heard this a long time ago that you have to position yourself.
Mhm.
You have to position yourself um and be in that space of where you want to be. You need to already be acting like you are at where you want to be.
Yep.
And that's me. I mean, I
That's
actually try to practice that on a daily basis. It's positioning yourself.
right.
And I think that that just does, I don't know, it does a lot for me.
Well, the
If I'm in,
first
oh, I'm sorry.
the
If-
first step to creating any change is identifying that change within yourself, right? So I grew up a completely disorganized person, right? And the story always was, I'm disorganized. My family, my friend, oh, Ali is messy. And that was always just the story. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's my life then.
mm-hmm,
Until I decided that's not who I wanted to be. So like I
right,
said, I literally wrote it down. Ali is organized. Ali is organized. And I told myself that every day. I watch YouTube because it didn't come intuitively to me how to
mm-hmm,
have systems to organize. I
right,
watched YouTube. All the information you can ever need in the world is on YouTube University, right? And I learned how to organize. And I mean, I could show you around my room here. Looks pretty neat, right?
well, yes. And I just think well, my mom used to always say, there's a place for everything.
Yeah.
And so I guess I was kind of, raised up that way. But then somewhere, once I moved out on my own, I decided, I don't have to have a place for everything. It just go. But then later on, I started feeling like that doesn't go there, And so, now I'm more about, there's a place for everything. There's a box, a bin, or something for everything,
Mm-hmm.
And,
But
I think
it
sometimes,
starts with, oh, I'm just grabbing some of the comments in here. But yeah, like
oh,
it
yeah,
said, anything you want to change about yourself, it needs to. It's not from the outside in, right? If you want to lose weight, it's not. You're not going to sit there and say, "I want to lose weight." You're going to sit there and say, "I am a healthy person and I live a healthy life."
right, right. I think that it's all a part for me for speaking things to existence. Because I tell you, even when I was still in school and people would say, well, before I started reselling, people say, what do you do? I said, I used to say, I'm a coach. I'm a coach, I'm a coach, I'm a coach, I'm a coach, until I changed it to be bougie to consultant. But,
Consultant.
but, I still say I'm a consultant, because I like that. But I tell you, what it is you have to speak these things into existence. You have to position yourself to what it is that you want, start acting like that's what you already are.
Yep, exactly.
You know, and I think that can help in the reselling world. You know,
oh yeah,
you know,
oh
you
yeah.
want to,
I mean, and especially being on Instagram and stuff, it is so easy to get down on yourself. You look at what everyone else is doing, you think you understand their life and whatever, and that's why
that is the
to bring
worst
this all
thing.
the way back around, the validation cannot be external.
No, 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 no. And that is the worst thing to do. People, do not compare yourselves with the next stack packages that you see, because all stack packages are not the same.
Nope.
And they all don't have to be real either. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true.
You know, but I tell you, our time is almost up. I don't want to end it. Oh my God.
I had so much fun. This was such a good conversation.
Oh, thank you so much for being my first guest on Brunch with Diva.
Oh,
And
congratulations on your first episode.
thank you. I'm so excited. Next week, I'm having somebody who's really awesome. She's became a really good friend. She's worked so hard in the community. So you guys have to come back next Wednesday, 1 o'clock Central Time. And I'm bad with time, so you guys will have to Google that and figure that out. But I want to thank you, Allie.
You're so welcome.
And I'll see you on Insta.
See you on Insta.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.